everybody. I am coming at you from a different place. So there's a lot been happening since we last saw you. First off, we sold our old home. Second off, we bought a new home. It goes way back there. That is the walkway, or the path, the trail, the drive that goes all the way to the back of our property. There's pastures over here, and right behind me here is some little mini pastures and a barn that is pretty much cleaned out and ready to go. And then there's our new chicken coop. Well, not new to this place, but new to us. And so not only did that all happen, but our baby was also born. So now we are going to have some fun, and we are going to pick up our chickens today from our friends that have been watching them, because we just really want our chickens back. So I have not seen this chicken coop yet. I've not seen the state of it, the condition of it, nothing. There's some things I know we are going to make changes on. Can't even get in right now. I'm gonna have to dig myself in there. And it looks like we have accumulated a barn cat with this house. Our kids have actually been coming out here and feeding it because we do want to keep it around. But this is our barn area. And as you can see, let me get in here. It might be a little dark, so I hope you guys can see it. But there's already basically stalls, not necessarily stalls set up. Hey kitty, I hear you. The stalls aren't set up, but you can see where they all were. So that's gonna make it easier for us. And they are big enough where you can see that they had larger livestock. And we do know they did have cows on this property because we saw them when we were looking at the property. I hear a bird too. There's a couple of birds hanging out in here. But as you can see, like on the walls, you can see like the paint lines and stuff. That's where the stalls kind of were separated. So it'll be kind of nice to be able to rebuild those. But one cool thing that we were excited about with this house is we do have a wooded lot and everything, but also our house is heated with a wood boiler. And you may think that's weird, but we are trying to get close to being off-grid. And so having the wood boiler is going to help us a ton. But then also they have an established garden with underground sprinkling, which is nice. And here is one section of the garden. And then there's another small section right up here. So we are definitely going to have some fun when the snow is gone. Which, speaking of this snow, you might not notice it or see how deep it is. But right now it is about 1.5 feet, almost 2 feet deep. It's packed a little bit because of melting, but about 3 days after we started moving into this house, we got hit with a massive snowstorm that lasted for 48 hours. And it accumulated up to 3 feet of snow. So that's been fun. The kids are also super excited because they now have a snow hill that they can sled here. And also I'm on the middle of one of them right here. They have the snow hills. In the spring, we have a zip line that we're going to set up for them that they're super excited about, and a ninja slackline course. We got those for Christmas for them this year, knowing we were going to be moving to either this property or one similar. And so we're going to find a place out in the woods for those. We are definitely excited about this. Now, the house needs some work. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. It needs some work. It needs some updating, things like that. But the property for us was the main selling point. And my daughter's, and the fact that the garden is actually south facing, I don't have to worry about it. And it's not in the shade. Like, it has some shade areas, but it's not in the shade. And as you can see, sunrise is absolutely gorgeous. When I can get to the back of the property, I will show you guys that. We do know we have about 8 to 12 apple trees on property. We don't yet know what kind of apples they are, but we know we have them. But then also right here is some garden beds. They are that my daughter is really excited about because she wants to grow cut flowers for Christmas, or not for Christmas, cut flowers to sell at our farm stand that we plan on doing. But I haven't gotten to even walk the property because with having our daughter through an emergency late last year, just before moving, I haven't had the energy to come out. So I'm really excited that I get to finally check out this property. It has been a long time since I've vlogged, so my arms are getting tired really faster too. But the previous owners did leave a couple of things for us. So the kids are super excited because they finally get a basketball hoop. They also have this like dog kennel thing, which we're probably going to use for something else. But we are definitely getting excited about being able to get this house to what we want it to be. We do love the fact that our dogs are actually able and willing to come out, and they don't need to be trapped in like a fenced in area. Especially Chewbacca. He is loving the fact that he can run around and just go. So we might put some underground fencing in at some point just to kind of try to keep him on the property. Sky has already run off once, of course, but that's the plan. We are really excited about this, so I will take you guys around and I will show you guys some other things as the snow melts, because we're gonna have a lot of work to do when the snow melts. So I actually came out, I'm in the first pasture. Behind me here you see 2 of our apple trees. In front of me is actually 1 more. But right here you can see it's the trail to bring livestock in and out. And on the other side of that is our other pasture. And then way back there, past the fencing at the very back, is even more pasture land. That area has not been fenced in. And I think our plan is to leave it unfenced in, like not fence it in at all, because we do want to hunt. And so that we do see game trails back there. Oh, I see rabbit poop. Rabbit scat. Do you see that? I see deer trails coming through here. So it's kind of fun. Like, we see the movement of the animals already. And so, yeah, that's kind of our goal. So all the way back there, all the way to the tree line back there, is actually our property. We got 20 acres, guys. We do plan on getting animals. We're gonna do it as a slow process, just so we can slowly get used to everything and start mastering each one separately. I think the first animal we're gonna get are milk goats. That's kind of the plan. And yeah, so probably this summer we might be getting some milk goats, and we got to figure out where to put them, because we definitely want to make sure they stay in an area. But that is the goal. Good afternoon. It is another beautiful day. The snow is melting and we are coming out onto the property again because I wanted to talk to you guys about our plans for this year. Now, one thing that we are going to be doing is we do want to get more chickens. We want to add meat chickens and some more egg layers to our flock. I am walking actually back into our wooded area of our property over here and everything because I wanted to show you something. I still can't get all the way to the back because even though the snow is melting, it's really heavy, so it's still very difficult to get back there. But I wanted to show you something that I'm actually kind of excited about. So I have always wanted to have like a greenhouse on my property. And one thing with that is with greenhouses, they're really expensive. But one of my favorite shows to watch is Homestead Rescue on Discovery. And the reason I love watching it is because they teach you how to use like stuff you already have on site on your homestead to make do and make what you want. Well, we have this gazebo, this metal framed gazebo, and to be honest, it's in the middle of the woods. It overgrows, like we came out here during this fall and it's overgrown and everything, so it's not really, and it's like all rusty and stuff. So what I think I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna kind of get my mom to come in and help with it and have Justin and everybody help with it, is we are going to repurpose this. We're gonna take it down. We're gonna move it to the front yard by the garden up front, and we're going to turn it into a greenhouse using wood that we might have on site, but then also using windows that we can find for super cheap or for free. Ooh, I am not going that way. There's like a cliff. The kids built a snow hill and have a cliff. But that's the first project that we plan on kind of doing. The next one, and this one is kind of dire, but we can't get to it right now, is we plan on fixing our chicken's coop. One, the previous owners on this property had used like OSB or just plywood instead of properly sealing it to moisture. So the coop is literally falling apart. The structure is fine, but they didn't overhang the roofing very far. They didn't cover the ground, so it stinks really bad. And the wood just gets wet. So we are going to properly do this. And then we are also going to get their nesting boxes off the ground. So let me get in here really quick so the girls don't escape. You guys are stinky. But their nesting boxes are on the ground, which isn't nice. And they have no roosts. So our goal is to actually build them and make this look nice. Plus it's like rotted and probably about to collapse. So I'm hoping it doesn't. Do we have any eggs, my ladies? No eggs today? Okay, that's fine. Thank you. But that is the first project on our list, is fixing this coop up and fixing this runoff to make it just a little bit nicer. The next project, besides of course the garden, which that's not a big deal, the next project is we are planning on getting goats. So we have this wonderful barn and we have an entryway right here. We want to properly close that entryway, not close it, but make it into a door, and then close off this stall and possibly either turn that into another stall or a kidding pen or milking station for goats. But there will be the door that they can come into. And then we have some barn cats out here too, so I'm trying to find them. Make sure they're eating the food that we left out. They came with the property, so we're gonna take it. But then we're gonna turn this garden area that I'm walking into right now, cut it down a little bit, and turn it into a goat pen. I think that's the plan. We're gonna put like all this stuff in there. We're gonna bring in, I wanna bring in like boulders and things for them to jump on and climb on and everything, and just kind of let them have at it. So those are the kind of the big plans for this year. Now, the goats that we have decided on, I definitely have not vlogged in a really long time. But we of course want milking goats. That is kind of our plan. And in all of my research over the last couple of years, I was kind of torn between a Nubian and a Nigerian dwarf. And I think we are going to go with the Nigerian dwarf. One, because they are smaller, they're easier to handle, they don't weigh very much. I want to say they get up to like 60 pounds, around 60 pounds. So it's an animal that our kids will be able to kind of manhandle on their own too. The second reason is they have a much higher fat content in their milk. And so for them, they would be able to, we'd be able to make some really delicious cheeses, butters, ice creams, things like that. But also their milk is just, in general, it's a little bit sweeter from what I've heard. And so their milk kind of tastes like melted ice cream. And I think our kids will like it. So we are going to start with Nigerian dwarfs. At some point I would like to get to Nubians, just because they do produce a lot of milk. It's just not as high fat content. Oh, and one other thing we got to do is we got to get stocked up on logs. Because our goal is to have like 2 years worth of logs ready to go. And we definitely don't have that. But Nubians are kind of, they just produce a lot more milk, but we don't want to start with them because we want to start with something a little bit smaller that we can kind of manhandle on our own. And it's a little easier to learn on. So that's kind of where we're at. Now we do have to build a few things, get things kind of situated and all that. So that is our plan. Get started with that, get more chickens, get some egg-laying chickens, get more meat birds, and we'll be good to go. But once the snow starts to melt a little bit more, we'll finally be able to assess everything that we need to do. So keep joining us. Things are going to start moving very quickly, and I have to hurry up and get inside because I have a feeling Miss Amelia might be waking up soon. She did just finish eating, so I might be lucky. But yeah,